Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom to those that's going to be watching this live a little later. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh, to our honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit, scattered four corners of the earth. Lord willing that you continue to pursue your lot. And shalom to the Akwaf that are believers of this faith and this truth. Willing that you continue to pursue your lot, being a loving and sound and virtuous wife, and that as a whole that you'll continue in sound doctrine, and Lord willing, Yahweh by Shema Shai has mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Okay, this is Lord willing, straight to the point, edifying lesson. Could you see the title? You know, the Israelites today, should always be inspired by the history, the parables and prophecies and laws and wisdom of the scriptures. You should be finding a way to get influenced. Now, hey, it could go off of reading, right? It can go off of you going in your precept notebook, one of them, right? Or having a conversation with a brother. Hey, you could be. I know some brothers, like even myself, you might watch a movie that pertain to the scriptures, right? And you get motivated. You should always find a way to being motivated through the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh by Shema Shai. I know some brothers might get into a situation where they might not be able to think of a lesson, you know. Um, that's where that come into, right? You being inspired. Because you can make any lesson. You could do the same lesson over and over again, right? We could do one of these lessons right now and we already did it. But are you inspired, right? It's supposed to help you grow to even more of a believer, right? Being inspired by the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Now, before I read this point, I want to go to the actual classic precept in, I believe, 2 Timothy, the third chapter. The 2 Timothy, the third chapter, starting at verse 15, it says, "In that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures." Because when we came in this faith, we were babes, right? It says, "It has known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Yahweh Shai." Right? And you get inspired is going to increase you in faith. It says, "All scriptures is given by inspiration of the Most High, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instructions in righteousness, that a man of the Most High may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works," right? So we should be inspired every time we reading the word, we're hearing the word, we're hearing brothers go into different topics, right? Chapter lessons, breakdowns, right? The law, the parables, the dark sayings. Some people think this is a game. You should be drawn to be hearing the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? All of y'all is freaking bots. Y'all all bots, right? You a bot. Yeah, you a bot. Y'all all bots. So lucky y'all. Okay, y'all all bots. When you read this in NLT, 2 Timothy 3:16, all scriptures is inspired by the Most High and is useful to teach us what is true and to make us realize what is wrong in our lives. It corrects us when we are wrong and teaches us to do what is right. Right? The Most High uses it to prepare and equip his people to do every work. Right? Every lesson, you have to think that you have to know that it's preparing you and equipping you with the tools that you need to do every good work in the eyes of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Again, These scriptures is useful to teach us, right? Let's get the classic. Let's get the classic verse we always use. Oh, Salaki. I don't know why that didn't pop up. The classic we always use. Let's get Romans the 15th chapter, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime for our learning, that through patience and comfort of the scriptures we might have hope. You have hope in these scriptures, right? Every day you hear a lesson. Like if you on YouTube, you should be inspired on your faith. Now I was rewatching the second season of The House of David. This is what inspired the thought of this lesson. You know, Lord, it might inspire more. But seeing the point of what this lady said about David, it made me think about all you men, especially you men, the prophets, the apostles, the evangelists, the teachers, you other men, you women, and you children, where you are powerful because you abide in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. You know? So the Most High gave Israel the great gift on the earth, which is these scriptures. It's a lesson that I did that these scriptures is a living document. Okay? It's a living document. You know? These is the keys to our faith. This is the keys to establish us to move and to be a reflection, to be worthy in the eyes of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. Through history, parables, laws, the prophecy, and wisdom, the Bible becomes a spiritual fuel. You're putting that spiritual fuel in you. This is that gas. What they say, I got that Zaza. This is real gas, that spiritual gas, that fuel that keeps us grounded. Okay? Disciplined, hope, and motivated to endure unto the end, right? It keeps you grounded. Let me get this. 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, the last verse. In the KJV, it says, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye stand fast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. This is not of us. This is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's work. This is divine work, you know? So you got to look at this bigger than you. This is better than the shit that you doing today, right? Reading and learn about Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, being honest, is better than cooking fucking food, right? When you actually step into parenthood, you know, instead of teaching your child how to walk and crawl and say a word, when they're able to understand, you able to teach them of the things that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai did. That's the best thing we could do as a parent, man. And even be a reflection of what you're teaching, what you're reading. Okay? For a man to pursue, to be a man of the Lord, I want to be a prophet. I want to be a teacher, right? It's not just because of me. I get to serve other people. Okay? This is bigger than you, man. And you get to see the tools, you get to see what other people went through that was serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So again, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain, right? The work that you're doing, brothers and sisters, right, really pertain to the faith, is not in vain. It's not boring. Right? Fear don't make you a sissy or weak that you fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right? You sisters, even you daughters that's wearing dresses. Because somebody might clown you, guess what? You're looking modest. You're being a real reflection of a princess. You're not a bitch. You're not a bad bitch. You're not just only beautiful and cold and beautiful. So some of us men, sexy, attractive. You are a daughter of Zion, man. You are a princess. Right? A princess to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and a princess given to a man of the Lord. Okay? So if somebody clowning you because of your faith, who cares? You know the name of your power. That's more important than the fucking outfit that you got on. Okay? Seeing death happen, seeing disasters, you seeing governments not agreeing with each other. This is the best time to be, because that's the sign to know, yo, our salvation is coming. We got to continue to work. You women that become wives, your work is to be a nourisher in your household, to be a comfort, to be a peace. Okay? Even if your man is in a different zone, you're going to find a way to be a peace. Maybe shutting up, you know? Maybe you might see that he might be attracted to something. Hey, you might be like, yo, love, you playing the game today? Oh, yeah, I'm about to get the game. You get the game already. You keep the controllers away from the children, right? Just the little things just to put a smile on that man's face, right? Even if he entertaining somebody, you encourage him, yo, be a light to that person. Be a light to that brother. Be a light to that sister. Find your little edge of doing the work on this side. As a woman, be inspired by what we reading in these scriptures, man. Be inspired on what you're hearing in the scriptures. First talking to you men, okay? So every generation of the Israelites was commanded to remember, to learn, to apply the scriptures because they are written for us, especially in these last days. It's very important to be motivated, to be inspired. Like when we read about Romans 15:4, Salaki, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, everything was recorded from Adam to to Yahushai, man. Okay? Everything was created from Adam to the prophets, from David, from Abraham all the way to Yahushai was 14 generations. And it's for our learning, correction, encouragement in these last days. Everything recorded from Adam, from the prophet to Yahushai. Even after Yahushai, going all the way to when John the Revelator bringeth forth the different letters of the books of Revelations out to the seven churches. Okay, First Corinthians chapter 10. Salaki. Chapter 10 in verse 11. It says, now all these things happen unto them for an ensample, but an example, and they are written for our admission, upon whom the ends of the world are come. In NLT, these things happen to them as an example for us. They were written down to warn us who live at the end of the age. Right? Right? The Bible is Israel instruction manual, right? Like I got a car manual right in in my glove department box, right? Then you even got brothers saying that the Bible is instructions on about living on earth. I forgot how the brother said it, but the scriptures is our instruction, written so we do not repeat the same mistakes of our forefathers, man. Right? These are examples for us. Come on, man. Like in history, our forefathers were strengthened by faith. When we deal with Abraham, the faith in the unseen, Genesis the 22nd chapter, even the 12th chapter, when he left his homeland. Moses, a leadership under pressure, from Exodus the 3rd chapter to the 14th chapter. These are set up examples you should be reading. Genesis 22, dealing with Abraham, the faith unseen. Moses, the leadership under pressure. Exodus, the 3rd chapter to the 14th chapter. David, encouraged against impossible odds. 1 Samuel, the 17th chapter. Hezekiah, a prayer delivers from enemies, right? 2 Kings, the 19th chapter. Even Isaiah, I think the 36th, the 37th, and the 38th chapter. So Israel today, you can look at each one of these examples and say, if they endure, we can endure. Same quote that I say. If they can do it, I can do it. If I can do it, they damn sure can do it. Right? Even without teaching, right? These men of the Lord, where the Lord had these scriptures recorded, is our motivation for you. If they can do this, you can do it. Right? Let's get this one account with Ananias, Mishael, and Azariah. When you go to Daniel, the 3rd chapter, this is starting at verse 8. Wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, and the dew chamber, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. This is a motivation for us. This inspires us. If they then drop down and worship these other gods, these false idols, or the place that they was in, right? You, Jake, right? All these other beliefs and religions, you got to find the actual truth, cleave to it. Don't soak yourself in the ideology or the mindset or the philosophies of America, right? You want to step away. In his rage and fury commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, It is written, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, do not ye serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, in due chamber, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast. Is that power that shall deliver you out of my hands? This is a question. What power is going to deliver you? This is your motivation now. All the things you're going through, that little motion you're going through now, and then the motion we're going to have to deal with in the time of the MOTB, famine of word, and Jacob's trouble, right? What power is going to deliver you from those things? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, verse 16, answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not able to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our power, our Elohim, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. This is to inspire you. Multiple men and women that called on Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Right? How can you grow to being a man of the Lord? How can you grow into being a daughter of Zion? Even to be a wife that your husband want to look at like, yo, this is the woman this is what I prefer my woman to be. You know, this is what I prefer her to aim to be, right? You should be inspired to call on Yahweh by Shema Shai in everything that you do, and going in these scriptures, in these lessons that you hear, because I haven't hit the top of the iceberg. You should be learning. So I'm going to say the point again. History of our forefathers strengthen our faith. Okay. You got Abraham, the faith of the unseen, Genesis 22. Go read it. Moses, leadership under pressure. This is reading examples. Exodus chapter 3 to chapter 14. Read it. David, courage against impossible odds. 1 Samuel, the 17th chapter. Read it. Right? Hezekiah, prayer deliverance from enemies. 2 Kings, the 19th chapter. Read it. Then you can go read what I just read in 2 Samuel, the 6th chapter, verse 12 to verse 23, to humble you women. How you speak to a man of the Lord. What you say, we're speaking on what he's doing. Right? What David was doing was not a sin. Okay? If it's in front of 1,000 women